I've been thinking about involuntarily fasting. When you walk with God, you learn how to fast. You will be fasting a lot. But to me, it's mostly involuntarily fasting. What does that mean? See, when the Lord took the Israelites out of slavery toward the promised land, there was a lot of fasting, meaning they always had water, but there was like 2 or 3 days, not 3 days, close to 3 days they did not have water. To me, that was fasting, but it was involuntarily fasting. I heard a lot of people, they do 40 days fasting, or juice fasting, or water fasting, or food fasting. See, when we fast ourselves, when we choose to fast, we feel so holy, we feel so good about ourselves, and we're like, yes, I fasted for this and that. How about when the Lord prepared the way for us to fast, and is almost so humbling because it's involuntarily fasting? How about that? We started our ministry since 2006 officially. It's 2022. Almost 18 years of ministry. There was 3 times, maybe 4 times, 3 or 4 times, we were not able to pay our house payment on time, and it went to 2 months. Instead of paying it on the 15th of every month, we had to wait for 60 days for money to come. There was a pressure, there was fear, because in America, when you get to 3 months, they might do foreclosure, or they just, it's scary. But in last 18 years, the Lord allowed us to experience involuntarily fasting for being able to even pay our house payment. To me, that's involuntarily fasting is very humbling, but when we go through that, like Israelites, they went through that, we start to complain. See, voluntarily fasting, we don't kind of complain because we choose to fast. Bible never really pushed us to fast. When I was a Muslim and believed in Islam, I was supposed to fast, but when you follow Jesus, there is no pressure to fast, but you voluntarily fast. How about we look at persecution? We as a believer, mostly, in America, or even in underground churches, you are received by other believers. How about if you get rejected or persecuted? Can we call that fasting? I would say yes. How about a lot of people, perhaps in your sphere of influence, they are famous, they have fame and fortune. You do not have fame nor fortune. Can we call that a fasting, involuntarily fasting? I would say absolutely, because the Lord allowed it to happen. See, when we do voluntarily fasting, we kind of feel really good about ourselves. But involuntarily fasting stirs things in us. The Lord Jesus told his disciples, some types of spirit, they only come out by fasting and praying. How about he also meant those kind of spirit only come out by involuntarily fasting and involuntarily praying? What is involuntarily fasting? When you go through trouble, because you're following Jesus, you go through rejection, you go through persecution, sometimes you go through poverty, you don't have enough money. That's involuntarily fasting. And involuntarily praying, to me, is like when you're really, in a bind and you pray. Or, also, I love this kind of praying. When you do not pray and you're not consciously praying, but your life become a prayer. To me, that's also involuntarily praying. This is just something to consider, something to ponder. But when I look back at my life, I see a lot of involuntarily praying, and I see a lot of involuntarily fasting. Then you have persecuted Christians in Iran or China. They have a lot, way more fasting than we in Western nation could ever really do. You know, and of course we will get to the promised land, but a lot of time when you follow Jesus, you're going to go through a lot of involuntarily fasting, and it's not for nothing. It's amazing. In that sense, let me thank God for allowing me to fast. Perhaps fortune or fame up to this moment. Can He take me to promised land? Of course. Can He give me even more recognition on earth? If He wants to, He can. Can He give me more fortune on earth like He gave it to Solomon? And fame and fortune that He gave to David? Yes, He can. But sometimes you have to go through a lot of fasting, like David went to be persecuted. To me, that was fasting. Or Joseph, that was us fasting. Abraham, it was all involuntarily fasting. Apostles, disciples, carry your cross, follow me.